Hi, I'm Amy, thank you for tuning in. This is my August TBR video, and if you've been watching my recent videos, you'll know that I keep saying myself huge stacks of books to read and then proceeding to not read them. I don't know what it is this year. I think partially it's because I'm writing a lot, I've been busy promoting my books and things like that, and doing things with my family, so I think the reading has just ended up a little bit deprioritised, but I keep giving myself these big TBR piles because I'm definitely discovering that I'm a mood reader and I like to have lots of options. So I find that if I set a big TBR, I can still mood read within that because I can pick things that I feel like when I get to it. So let's get to pile of books, and you can let me know in the comments if there's any that you think should prioritise, because we both know I'm not going to read all these books this month. So first up, we have got the YA Book Club pick. I let people vote this month, and the group has decided to read You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Callum Bayron. If you want to join the YA Book Club, we do have a group on Goodreads called YABookClub2023 where we discuss the books, but you can also chat to me about them on social media. So I was really excited when this one was picked because it is a slasher set at a sort of extreme experience where you can feel like you're in a slasher movie. It's on the site, the experience takes place on the site of a cult 1980s horror movie. I've just started reading this one, so I can confirm that it is just as fun as it sounds so far, so I hope I enjoy it as much as I'm expecting to. The next couple of books, I've gone a little rogue because I got really organised. I took a photograph of the TBR pile, and then some extra books arrived. Some I just impulsively decided to add, so that's another reason why this pile is so big this month. But I've been wanting to read Max Brooks's Devolution for a while, and as I was trying frantically to have a little book sort for this video, this one came up and I thought, I bought this a while ago, I still haven't read it. I've been trying to read a little bit more like found footage, mixed media stuff because I really enjoy that, and this is an example of that. And it says on the back, as the ash and chaos from Mount Rainier's eruption swirled and finally settled, the story of the Green Loop massacre passed unnoticed, unexamined until now. The journals of resident Kate Holland, recovered from the town's bloody wreckage, capture a survival tale too harrowing and too earth-shattering in its implications to be forgotten. Because if what Kate saw in those days is real, then we must accept the impossible. We must accept that the creature known as Bigfoot walks among us and that it is a beast of terrible strength and ferocity. I'm smiling as I'm reading that because the next book has kind of a Bigfoot theme as well, weirdly. I'm sure you can tell if you know anything about my reading taste, that sounds like something I'm going to enjoy, so I'm excited about that. And next we have a Yeti book. I didn't intentionally choose to this month, I swear. I forgot to put this on my TBR photo, but I really want to get to this because it sounds so fun. I love the fact that it's got this slightly bloody cover, hopefully promising to be a little bit gory. And it says on the back basically that this is a bacheloresque experience where a group of girls have been whittled down to the final few that get to choose. The man on the island gets to choose which of them he's going to date, and then they start to realise that the island is hiding a terrifying secret, and based on the fur on the cover and what I've read, I think it's not too much of a spoiler. It was in the promo stuff to say I think there's a Yeti on the island who presumably wants to cuddle. Next up, we have the Point Horror Book Club pick. I'm going to be appearing on the Point Horror Book Club this month, which is super lovely. I've done it a couple of times with Shelley and had lots of fun. Last year, I can't believe it's been a year since, but we read part 1 in the Forbidden Game trilogy. These were always some of my favourite Point Horror books, and I'm hyped to read the second one because I remember I didn't read this one as many times because I don't know whether you do this, but when I love a trilogy, I tend to reread the first book more. It doesn't necessarily mean it's better, it just means that I get bored and move on to other things. So this one, I don't remember as much about. I do remember there was something super gory that gave me a nightmare when I was younger, so that bodes really well. So I'm looking forward to getting involved in the book club and reading this one. Next up, a book that's been on TBR Pal so many times. I love Sue Warman's writing. I think because it was already out by the time I got this one, I ended up sort of prioritising books that are about to be released and stuff like that. So this is Sue Warman's take on sort of a teenage catfishing gone horribly wrong. Two friends get revenge on their prankster friend by sending fake messages from her crush, but then the girl they're sending messages to ends up dead and the catfish killer is just getting started. It sounds really fun. I love Sue's books, so hopefully I'll get to this one. This has also been on my TBR a lot of times with Fighting Their Blood by Kat Delacourt. I have started reading this one because I was determined it's not going to languish on my TBR any longer, and it's really good so far. I've got up to a bit where a girl has been reluctantly moved with her dad to a new town where he's got a new job, and the town is very strange. There is lots of kind of local mythology unravelling and a history that seems very much steeped in witchcraft, even until recently. This mysterious general character trying to whittle out people who have powers that they call saints and getting rid of them. So I'm really intrigued. It says in the back, it's a simmering supernatural romance set in the crumbling Italian city of Castello, where mafia clans make the rules, dark magic pulses the streets, and the sins of the past threaten to consume the present. I mean, it sounds so good. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Next, another book that's been on for TBR a couple of times. This is a proof. Comes out in September, so I really want to read this one. It says, in a remote village overshadowed by a gruesome legend and ancient superstitions, who can say what's real, what's not, and what should stay buried deep inside your head? I think that this is a book about witchcraft. I think we're getting towards the time of year where I really want to read more spooky books, so this one should fit the bill nicely. Next up, another book that has been on TBR a lot, and I'm finally reading it. Episode 13, I'm listening to the audiobook. It's a mixed media book with lots of characters' journals and things like that, so listening to the audiobook is great because you can hear their points of view. It is a ghost hunting TV show who have gone to a reputedly very haunted location to try and catch some ghostly activity on film. I'm enjoying it so far. I haven't listened to absolutely loads, so I'll reserve judgment until I get to the end. Next, hefting up this heavy hardback, we've got Looking Glass Hand by Catriona Ward. I've not read any Catriona Ward books. I believe that I own all of them, if not nearly all. So I thought this was going to be the month to get one, and I have started reading it. I feel like, I don't know whether anybody else does this, but I start reading a book sometimes to set the intention I'm going to read it. And so far I've got no idea what is going to happen. I'm not going to read the blurb because I want to go into this one not really knowing. But so far there are 3 teens who've kind of come together in this remote seaside town, and they're hanging out, and it's got this kind of feel of impending doom. They've started talking about a local legend. I'm going to try and read his name but not ruin it for myself. Called the Dagger Man, who sounds like he's been kind of sneaking to people's homes and taking taking photographs with their children, which is terrifying to me. So there is this kind of sinister underpinning so far. I don't know what direction it is going to take, but I'm excited to find out. Next, trying to work my way through some hyped books. Love this edition of Yellowface. I've heard only good things. I've heard that it is a very kind of searing, realistic look at what publishing is like. I don't know much else. I think it has thriller feel. Not going to read the blurb because, again, like Looking Glass Down, there's certain books where I kind of don't want to know. I want to find out for myself, but I love how gorgeous this is. So the next book I picked up at NY Lit Fest. I was so thrilled that they had proofs of The Changing Man. It says, just because they let you in, it doesn't mean they'll let you out. This book will change you whether you like it or not. I don't really know what it's about. I know that people have said it's really scary. I've seen little bits online, but I don't know that much. But I'm really intrigued by it. So I'm hopefully going to get that one this month. Next up, I loved The King is Dead, so I had to pick up Benjamin Dean's new book, How to Die Famous. This is based on Ben's experiences as a kind of like a Hollywood gossip reporter. So it sounds really fun. What would you risk to be famous? Abel is living a double life. He's Hollywood's latest prodigy, about to star in a huge blockbuster, and an undercover journalist determined to expose the entertainment industry's biggest secrets, namely the one concealing his brother's death. Catapulted into the spotlight, Abel quickly finds himself embroiled in a dark world of secrecy, scandal and murder. When everyone has something to hide, who can you trust when the cameras are no longer rolling? It sounds really good, and I like the fact that it's based on some of Ben's own experiences. Next, I found out this month that I'm going to be appearing at YALC, which is super exciting. I'm going to be chairing the Crazy Stupid Love panel. Lex Croucher is on that panel, so her publisher kindly sent me a copy of her latest book, Trouble. I'm just going to check which the publisher is so I can say thanks. So this is after an imprint of Bonnier Books, so thank you so much for that. I don't know much about this, but I have read all of Lex's other books so far, and I think they're great. She writes very funny books with romance, very strong characters, often strong feminist themes, and I'm sure this one will be just as good. So it says, Emily Lawrence is a liar. Good start. She's not really a governess. She's not polite. She's not polished, and she's never taught a child in her life. This position was meant to be her sister's, brilliant, kind Amy, who inexplicably does like children. But with Amy unwell, Emily must put aside her anger and pretend to be somebody she's not, for as long as it takes to earn enough to cover the doctor's bills. and pocket a few expensive trinkets along the way. The plan is simple: to take what she can from her severe, brooding employer, Captain Edwards, and get out. That is, as long as she doesn't get involved with the Edwards family dramas. Emily refuses to care about her charges Grace, who talks too much and loves too hard, and Asta, who might just be the wittiest 16-year-old Emily has ever met, or the servants, who insist on acting like each other's family. And she certainly hasn't noticed Captain Edwards, no matter how good he might look without a shirt on. Yes. All of that sounds absolutely brilliant, can't wait. And then next up, another book that wasn't on my TBR pile because it's just arrived, Mother Nature, Jamie Lee Curtis's comic book debut. I didn't expect when I got the email about this that Jamie Lee Curtis would have written a comic, but of course I had to know what this was about. It says on the back, after witnessing her engineer father die in mysterious circumstances on one of the Cobalt Corporation's experimental oil extraction projects, Nova Terrell has grown up to hate the seemingly benevolent company that the town of Catch Creek, New Mexico relies on for its livelihood, and thanks to the Mother Nature Project, its clean water. Haunted by her father's death, the rebellious Nova wages a campaign of sabotage and vandalism on the oil giant's facilities and equipment, until one night she makes a terrifying discovery about the true nature of the Mother Nature Project, and the malevolent, long-dormant horror is awakened, which threatens to destroy them all. How cool does that sound? I'd love it if Jamie Lee Curtis has written a book that I absolutely love, because it sounds great. That is it. Huge stack of books. As I said, let me know in the comments if you like the sound of any of them, if you've read any and think I should prioritise them. As always, likes and subscribes are really appreciated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Booktuber.